The work never stops. We wake up, we hustle. We wake up, we do whatever we can to make sure that we turn our dreams into reality in the real estate space and in any industry that we are operating in. Hello friends, welcome back to our channel. My name is Lindogu Hlemnisi. For those who are joining us for the first time, welcome to our YouTube channel. This is where we talk about everything real estate, especially my favorite, the one that focuses mainly and mostly on providing affordable accommodation for low-income earners in the township. I'm coming to you live today from a property that has just been registered in our name. So we've just added this property behind me. It has just been registered in our name. And as you can already see, I'm already on site. We are already working. We are focusing mainly on providing affordable rental accommodation for low-income earners. So that's what I want to talk about with you today, where I'm going to also show you what I do, because I said in one of the videos that I posted that the reason I don't post quite a lot and educate quite a lot is because I'm not just all talk. I don't go and research information out there and come back to bombard people with information or to educate people. So as you would know, the things that I talk about things that I do, the things that I am involved in, the investments that I make. So that's why you will see that we won't be posting quite a lot, because I'm on the ground, I'm on the grind. We're working very hard to ensure that we boost and we increase our portfolio in the real estate space. So what I want to talk about today is not just about the fact that I just bought another property to add into our real estate portfolio, but it's to say, how do we ensure that we stick to what we want to do in the real estate space, and also to ensure that we are strategic in what we do and how we actually do it. So I want to talk about subdividing a property to ensure that you can maximize on profits. Remember, when you buy a property, you can buy that property, and people can rent that property based on the rental amount that is usually paid amongst that community, in that community that you've bought your property at. So you'll find that people can rent the whole house, 3-bedroom house, for 6,000 rand, and only to find that the money that you are supposed to pay to the bank, if you've taken a bond, you find that you have to pay 7,000, 7.5 or 8,000, and that actually means the remainder of the amount you will need to cough out from your own pocket. If the tenant is paying 6,000 rand and your bond is 7.5, that means 1.5 needs to come from you, and already that property becomes a liability to you. It's no longer an asset. It's no longer putting money into your pocket. And there are many ways to ensure that you mitigate exactly that, to ensure that you don't buy a liability and call it an asset, buy a liability and rent it out only for you to be coughing out money on a monthly basis. So there are ways and there are things that you can do to ensure that you are profitable from the get-go. You are profitable from the day you actually acquire this property and start paying your bond. It could be bonded, but if you have done all the correct calculations, and I've done the calculations in one of the videos, if you just scroll down our YouTube videos or just search where we talk about gross yield and net yield. I think the video is one of the videos that are called calculations to make when you buy a rental property. I speak about the calculations that you need to do before you buy a rental property, because the risk is that you will not do the calculations, and when you have now purchased the property and you realize later that every single month you will be paying a certain portion of the amount on top of the rental amount that you'll be getting. So what can you do to ensure that you are profitable from the word go? The first thing, you can subdivide the property into two. You actually buy a 3-bedroom house and you subdivide it into 2 apartments. So it will be 2 apartments where you put a door on the other end, so that the other tenant can just walk into their apartment, and they'll walk into the kitchen and walk into, you know, their bedroom, and also you do a shower and a toilet for them, or a bathroom. And then the other tenant as well, you do the same thing. Just ensure that every single thing that you do in the real estate space, make sure that you have all the approvals that are necessary, all the approvals that you need with the city council or with any municipality that you need to, you know, get approvals from. So that's the first part. And it's the same thing that you know, most people do with you know, a student accommodation. With student accommodation, you can buy a property and subdivide it into different rooms or different, you know, cottages for the students to live in and share the whole house, but they've got their own bedrooms, and they can share either, be it a kitchen, share the bathroom, or whatever it may be. Those are the type of things that ensures that when you get into the real estate space, or you buy a property for rental purposes, you ensure that you do exactly those things, subdivide it, so that even if one tenant, you know, moves out, the other one is still here, and you can then, you know, not find yourself in a situation when you have to pay a bond in that particular month. So it's really advisable that you think about what you want to do with a property. If you want to buy a 3-bedroom house and rent it out as it is, that's great, as long as you have done your due diligence, you've done your calculations, and you are not paying a single cent on a monthly basis for this property, because then it becomes a liability instead of an asset. Now, the other thing that you can do to ensure that when you buy a property, it start being profitable from the get-go and going forward, is to ensure that you buy a property that has a big enough space for you to build rental units on the outside. I can show you just here, this property that we just bought. Obviously, we're dividing it on the inside. It's got a carport there. It's got a carport just at the back, and it's got this huge space around here where I'm standing. There's actually a huge space around where I'm standing. A very huge space, which can allow for you know, apartments if I choose to build ones. And as you would know, you know me, you would know me very well. I'm one guy who is very much passionate about providing affordable accommodation for low-income earners in the townships, and that includes me being in the backroom industry as a company, After 12 Properties. So those are the type of things that I wanted to just talk about, to address, to say there are ways to ensure that you maximize your profits. While you do that, ensure that you've got all the approvals, you've got all the planning, and the plan is done correctly. Get yourself an architect to ensure that everything is done professionally and it's done to the best of your ability, because investment, you invest for a long term, so you don't want to do something that will be falling in a short space of time, or will be cracking in a short space of time and endangering the people that will be living in that apartment. I hope the video was very helpful. There are many things that I would like to talk about, but I'm trying to keep the videos as short as possible. What we discussed right now is that when you buy a property, make sure you do the due diligence, make sure you do the right calculations, so that the property, as soon as it registers into your name, it begins to be profitable when you rent it out as it is. But if you want to maximize the profit, ensure that you can subdivide it into 2 apartments or 3 or 4, depending on what you are doing it for. If it's for students will on a normal basis, students will have a smaller apartment compared to a family, a live-in family like what we are doing here. So you can subdivide the house and rent it out. Even if you can even turn the garage into an apartment and rent it out. Every single thing that you do, make sure that it's registered and it's approved by the city council or any municipality from where you are operating. Yeah, that's all about it for now, and we will chat again in another video that we'll be doing. Thank you very much for staying in touch. Thank you very much for always commenting and clicking the like button. It helps very much with the algorithm of YouTube. For now, let me get back to work. You guys go and get your properties, go and get your real estate deals, and make sure that you improve and you increase your rental portfolio. My name is Lindo Mnisi. Thank you very much for being part of this community. All the best in your real estate journey. Cheers.